Thanks everyone for joining. Happy Vijayadashmi to everyone. Happy Navratri. It's believed that whatever we do on Vijayadashmi, it's like it's a day of victory. You know, we can start briefly discussing about the Devis. Let me just share the screen.
Okay, I think Anu, I'm able
So
to see your screen and
you can
yeah,
see that. Okay, sure.
yeah.
That's good. So as previously we discussed about the significance of Pitru Paksha, so we have passed through that Pitru Paksha period, the period of reflection, gratitude, and cleansing and releasing. So after that, we move to the like every time there is different energies equivalent on Mother Earth. Okay. So after the Pitru Paksha, we move to the beautiful feminine energy period. So this is the time most of the we are predominantly with the feminine energies of the Shakti. So Navratri season. So that's where it started after the Mahala Amavasya. We started the Navratri day one, and then today is the Vijayadashami. So each this phase, this period, is celebrated in different parts of India, like in different ways. In South, I think from Andhra, we follow the Navratri as we have been celebrating here, following the Kankadurga Alankarans and different way, and then various different parts. If you see West Bengal has a different way of celebration, right? And if you see basically entire North have a kind of a different way compared to the South. So where based on the Shaktism, based on the Devi Purana, based on certain scriptures, Durga Saptasati, so like we have. These are the nine Devis, which you can see on the screen. So, which are kind of, Navadurga, we call it, starting from Shailaputri, Brahmacharini, Chandraganta, and then, Kushmanda, and then Skandamata, then comes Katyayani, Kalaratri, Mahagauri, and then the last one is the Siddhidatri. So, these are the nine. Goddess forms for the Navadurga. Like every Navadurga, like every form of Durga is a different dimension, which brings to, it's not just like we celebrate like with, specific colors. So every Durga dimension is associated with the chakra, Kundalini chakra, right? And everything is associated with a planet. And the energies are associated with different dimensions, or even if we can take it as a kind of Puranic way, it's very beautiful to understand, how the women empowerment in those days, right? And so, like, we can just briefly discuss through each Alankara, each form of Devi, and then we can just proceed to meditation. So, let me just move to the first form of Navadurga. So, this is the first form is the very primordial, very primary form of Durga is Shailaputri. Probably most of you know, right? The epic, the story of as per the Puranas, when Sati Devi gets married to Shiva against the wishes of the Daksha Prajapati, so Daksha's daughter. So that's when Daksha performs the yajna, and when he insults Shiva, Sati Devi did the Agni Pravesha, and that's where the story, like the Purana, everything explains how the part of each part of the body where it is fallen. Then there are 50 Shakti 51 Shakti Pitas. There are also like syllables of Sanskrit. There are like various explanations for each based on the energy dimensions. So after that, Shiva went to a complete deep meditative state for thousands and thousands of years. He was in complete meditative state. And it is during that phase when there was demonic forces were predominant on the, ruling all the lokas, all the three worlds. Like there is this Tarakasura, very, the Rakshasa is like great monster. Like he was completely creating havoc around all the three worlds, all the Devaloka, all the Bhuloka, and also the Patala and all the planets. Everything he was kind of, harassing the people, torturing the people, doing all kinds of stuff. So Devatas were concerned, and then the thing and also he got a great boon from Brahma that only Shiva's son can kill him, right? Because he knows Shiva will not get married because he's a Bairagi, he's a Vairagi, he will not get married. And then he asked for Amaratva, but then The god says he can't get Amaratva. So, but then he asked, like, only Shiva's son can kill me. Otherwise, I will just stay alive forever. So that's when after the Sati Devi's that epic, and then Shiva was in a meditative state. All the devatas and Brahma, everybody were concerned. They were finding ways because even the Trinity gods they cannot kill Tarakasura. So that's when, with the request of all the devatas and then Brahma, the Adi Parashakti incarnates as Parvati. So Parvati to Parvatraj, Himalaya, Himavant, and Mainavati. So that's the first form of Durga as Shailaputri. Shaila is mountains. Putri is a daughter. She's the daughter of the mountains of the Pavatraj. So all the Shailaputri energies are connected to the earth, planet Earth. So all the rivers or the mountains or the plants, everything are connected to the energies of the Devi Shailaputri. So they are very stabilizing energies. They are grounding energies. So she is the giver of all those worldly pleasures, right? She rules the planet Earth, and she is associated with the Muladhara chakra. So that is the first chakra, the root chakra. If you see, that's why like we have people, if you chant the Lalita Sahasranama, there's a beautiful say, Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta Deva Karya Samudita. It comes from Chidagni. It's like Muladhara is the root chakra, right? And she incarnated to kill the asuras for the Devakarya Samudhyata. There's a beautiful shloka, right? Sumeru, Madhyasringastha, and then the Devakarya Samudhyata. This Lalita Sahasranama explains in a beautiful way. So that's the first form of Devi, which is very kind of, you can also think about as a relationships. So it's also like as per Purana and also as per the energy dimensions, what we are looking at. If it's a planet Earth, it is also related to she says like she's Mahameru, like she is the body, right? Whatever the energies of our body connected to the earth or Shailaputris. So that's what each has kind of, worshipping her, which we get courage and then determination. So as a relationships, like as a daughter, she was doing all kind of, her duties to fulfill, obey the parents and taking care of being a princess of Himavat and Mainavati. She was kind of, taking care of all that responsibilities as a daughter. It's the role of a daughter. And that is the first Durga. Then moving on to the second form of Devi, which is Brahmacharini. So after the Shailaputri, like as she started growing, she had visions of Shiva. She started dreaming about Shiva. She wanted to get connected and she wanted to get married to Shiva. And Shiva is a Vairagi. He's in the deep tapas. He did that tapas 64,000 zillions of years after the, Sati Devi's left the planet. So that's when kind of, Brahmacharini is this, you can think about relationship wise, it's also student life, right? So she carries Kamandala, and being a princess, she walks barefoot. That is the simplicity. And she has the Rudrakshamala on the right hand. So what she does, she tells her parents that no, I want to attain Shiva. I want to reach the lotus feet of God Shiva. I want to get married to him, and I want to do the tapas. So being a princess, initially Mainavati was very much worried, but then she had to let go. She let her go. So do her kind of, fulfill her uh, the life's goal. So she goes to that Himalayan mountains, on top of mountains, how the harsh weather conditions, like the scorching sun, there are, snowstorms, like constant hail, right? All those harsh conditions. She starts doing the tapas, intense tapas as a brahmacharini, wearing all that just simple clothes, removing all the jewelry, not just like a princess. So initial 1,000 years, what she does is she does tapas, continuous meditation dhyana, just eating only fruits, nothing else. She gives up all that royal food and all that royal pleasures. On the Himalayan mountains, she started doing tapas, just eating only fruits, flowers for 1,000 years. But still, she cannot reach Shiva. Shiva will not come to see her. So she thought, okay, now my tapas, my meditation should be even more intense. And she even stopped eating those fruits. And then she started eating only leaves, and that too only bilva patra. Bilva patra is very sacred, which we all know, because the energy dimension of the bilva leaf is as such that really has very a lot of energy and cleansing benefits. So for another 1,000 years, she just eats only bilva patra and then starts meditating. And after that, she even, stops eating that bilva patra. She does intense tapas just on one leg, standing with different kind of sadhanas. And finally, the Shiva appears to him. So if you think that student life, so the focus, the Shraddha or that Vairagya, she is embodiment of that Vairagya, of that devotion, Shraddha, and then patience, right? So, and as she carries that rosary and then Japmala and then Kamandala and just walks barefoot on that Himalayan mountains. So that is, she's kind of in the pursuit of the great knowledge and all the spiritual awakening to reach the god Shiva. So she usually blesses all the devotees with the inner peace and the self-control or the persistence to reach your goal, like whatever it is. If you want to manifest something, or even you as a student, if you want to learn something, you need that dedication, you need that focus, you need that self-control, and you need to have that persistence. So that is the way she's showing as a student life, how a student to be, if you are analyzing a relationship, right? It's just like correlate as a Puranic way plus as a relationship wise, and also like energy dimension, what each Devi brings up. So she is connected to the Swadhisthana chakra. The second Devi, Brahmacharini, is connected to that energy dimension of Swadhisthana. So that is like as we are just slowly moving upwards from root chakra, we are reaching Swadhisthana. And there is like for each day, like we have different color, different prasada, and all these are just external bahya attributes, right? But what the goal is, Navratri is not just to wearing the color or just having that prasad, having just those kind of external things. It is way beyond, transcending upwards to reach the Shiva consciousness. If you see the understand the energy dimensions of each Devi shows a different way. And the third form of Devi is Chandraghanta. So Devi Chandraghanta, so is the third form of Devi. Chandraghanta is a married form of Parvati, right? If you see after she was born as Shailaputri, and then she does all the tapas of intense tapas of just not eating only fruits and then only bilva and then not even eating anything. Finally, she gets Shiva as her husband. So you know the story, right? Like where the Shiva comes in the form of like wearing all the skulls and wearing all that ashes. She goes to marry Parvati. Then where Mainavati gets fainted, thinking that, oh, how can my daughter marry to a Vairagi like this, wearing skulls? Is so kind of different being. Then Shiva comes as Chandrasekhara, and then Parvati gets married to Shiva, and then they reach to Kailasha. So as a Chandraghanta Devi, like as a married woman, she does all her duties, like keeping Kailasha, all taking care of the Ganas and all taking care of all the needs, because Shiva is always in that intense tapas. So she used to serve Shiva like with all taking the fruits and cleaning all that. Place where he does the meditation dhyana. He is kind of a very happy married woman, but devas are not happy, right? They, because they need Shiva and Parvati's son to kill Tarakasura, so that is kind of they're all waiting. And even Tarakasura gets that boon, right, where only Shiva and Parvati's son can kill Tarakasura. So Tarakasura gets worried when Parvati gets married to Shiva. So what he does is initially he sends Jetkasura, like another Asura. He is a form of bat, is a big bat. So that Jetkasura comes, and what he comes with zillions of bats. So all those bats, it just they spread all the negative energies, the darkness, because all those bats covered the skies and all the sun, everything is covered. So there's no light. So much negative energies are spread across all the world. Starts thinking what to do. I need to consult Shiva. So she goes to Shiva, but Shiva is in deep tapas, in deep dhyana. Then what she does is she takes this bell and she started ringing the bell. Listening to the sounds of that bell, all the bats flew away. So that it started removing all those negative energies. The bell sound of the bell is, it's a very subtle sound. It removed all the negative energies, and then finally she takes that big bell and hits on the head of the Jatakasura, killing the Jatakasura. That way again the light comes, and that is the kind of remove all that negative energies. And then if you see Chandraganta, Chandra is moon. Moon is related to our mind. Ghanta is bell. Bell is oneness of the sound, because if you don't see so many variations of sound, or saregama padanise, or like various sounds, the bell sound is like one. It represents the oneness of sound. So, and she wears the crescent moon. So that's where Chandraganta Devi represents a married form of Devi to Shiva, and she wears a crescent moon on the forehead, and that shaped like a bell as well. So if you see, in Lalita Sahasranama, you also say Ashtami Chandra Vibhraja Dalikasthala Sobhita, right? Ashtami Chandra is just like a half moon. It's a kind of little bit crescent half moon, because the remaining half moon is adorned by God Shiva. So both together, like Narishwara, right? They both together form like a Purna Chandra. So it's like this Devi controls your mind, is ruler of your mind, right? And the Devi protects from all the negative energies, all the evil, all those energies. And she is embodiment of the bravery, resilience, and strength. She dispels fear and anxieties among the devotees, right? So this is like these are the energy dimensions. Like each day, whatever based on our current state, each day we need to bring those dimensions into our. It's not just about the external things what we do. It is about our inner fears we need to overcome, inner resilience, inner strength. So these are all to take a kind of from each dimension of Devi, like each to grant different energy dimensions. So bestower of each different qualities. And moving to the next Devis. So if you see even relationship first, we have seen Devi as a daughter, Devi as a student, and Devi as a married woman. So the next form of Devi is Kushmanda. So Kushmanda is the creator of the universe. So Kushmanda, where the goddess has 8 hands, and then weapons, and also a rosary on the one hand, and kamandalu, and like different each thing what she holds has a symbolic representation for winning over something or doing something. She comes on a tiger. So there's a beautiful Kushmanda as you can think about, right? There's a calculation where you see there's many Kali Yugas, and then Treta Yuga, and then there's many Dwapar Yuga, and after end of everything's after end of Kalpa or Manvantara, there's a calculation. So after each Kalpa, there is nothing but everything dissolves, all manifestation dissolves into unmanifested, everything dissolves into the shunya. So that is when there's nothing, like no planets, no earth, no cosmos, everything is shunya. So after in from that shunya, a small golden egg appears. That is the Devi Kushmanda, right? We also call it as kind of, according to scriptures, Hiranyagarbha, right? So that is where from that Kushmanda, entire manifestation of the universe happens. All the Trinity come, and then all those planets, all the mountains, everything is comes from all manifestation. Whatever we see, that comes from the Kushmanda, Devi Kushmanda, who is a small. Ushma is kind of it is the hot or the heat or the warmth, and is the egg that symbolizes the cosmic energy, because from pure consciousness, from shunya, when there is a form of small energy vibration from that golden egg, the creation starts, the manifestation starts. So that represents the cosmic energy, the vitality, the life force. That is where it starts. Devi starts as Kushmanda, and Devi grants the health and happiness and abundance to devotees and awakens that divine energy, Kundalini. So Kushmanda represents kind of, like from, if you see Shailaputri is Muladhara, and then Brahmacharini is the Swadhisthana, and if you see Chandraganta is our Manipura chakra. So from that onwards, from Manipura chakra onwards, we start our spiritual growth, progressing towards the higher evolutionary state. Leaving all those survival needs, not just kind of, we are not just living here to eat food and do the things like with the animal instincts, right? We are way beyond as a human being. We are supposed to transcend beyond. We have to reach that highest potential to recognize the true self. So we are transcending slowly upwards from root chakra to we already reached the Manipura, and then Kushmada represents the Anahata. So that's where kind of, the love and compassion and abundance. So that if we start awakening our infinite Kundalini energy from within, from Mooladhara to upwards. And moving to the next form of Devi is Skandamata. Skanda is Skandamata. There's a beautiful story again with the Kartikeya, how the birth happens. So as Shiva and Parvati's son, Kartikeya is supposed to kill Tarakasura. And so the energies of the Shiva and Shakti, they create like a fireball. They just kind of, nothing could hold that energy. So the fireball, the big kind of energy ball was fallen into the Ganga river. But Ganga also could not withhold that intense high energy of the Kartikeya's, that big kind of egg, the kind of, the energy egg, or whatever you call. And then from Ganga river, slowly the energy that divides into six pieces, kind of six balls, and then that energy appears like a six small babies on the grassland of the Kritika Loka. So that's why the Kritikas, they find these six babies, and they take them to Kritika Loka and start nurturing the Kartikeya. So then one day Parvati comes and she hugs the six babies. So they join together, and they have so Kartikeya becomes one body and six heads, as you can see in the picture. So again, this is a symbolism represents, it's a Kundalini, raising of the Kundalini, and then six chakras in our body. So this is the representation. So Kartikeya also has, if you say relationship wise, Skandamata is known for her love, compassion, and represents the Vishuddhi chakra, the energies of the Vishuddhi chakra, and that is of the selfless care, taking care of the children. So relationship wise, motherhood, right? A mother takes very good care of the children. So similarly, the Devi, he has shown a great example how she brings up the Kartikeya. So Kartikeya's main incarnation is to kill the Tarakasura and the demons. So Kartikeya is a warrior, right? He's kind of so there are all the devas and everybody gives Kartikeya so many weapons, 11 weapons he gets from the Shiva. But Parvati gives him his veil, Kartikeya's veil. That veil is the most powerful one with which he kills the Tarakasura. That veil represents that is a raising of Kundalini on the bottom part, and that on the top it is like this. If you have seen the Kartikeya's veil, that represents your Agna Chakra, third eye. So that is kind of your awakening that Kundalini. That is a form of energy, right? That is a Skandamata, mother of Skanda. And if you see, like each Devi has different symbolisms, what she wears, what she does, everything has a meaning behind it. And the next form of Devi is Katyayani. Katyayani is a ferocious goddess, right? So if you have seen different scriptures like Durga Saptasati, and where kind of the Devi was born to kill, was created to kill Mahishasura. So there was a kind of Puranic story again. So there's kind of all the devas and everybody sacrifices a part of their energy into the big fire pit. That's where the Devi comes from that big Chitagni, and that's where kind of the goddess is very powerful to kill the Mahishasura. So that reference, the energies represent again the courage, power, and righteousness. And like she just encourages, fight over the injustice. and blesses devotees with victory, both internal and external battles. So let's think about a different. It's not like, how it is, important for us. Okay, Devi has killed Mahishasura. Mahisha is a bull, buffalo, right? So how it is related? Like, are we supposed to, see some monster, a Rakshasa, and kill a Rakshasa? So it's all about how we are doing, getting victory or in battles, right? Like Mahisha is kind of, you can think that it's animal instincts. Mahishasura can turn into any shape, any change, any form he wishes for. So for us, what are the animal instincts? Like we are supposed to have that ego. I mean, whatever we have, that ego, rage, all that lust, all that, all those emotions, we are supposed to get rid of all that. We're supposed to kill that inner those kind of vices. Like we have supposed to have clean all those panchakleshas and all those lust, all those ego. Like everybody will, we think that we are great. Like we have all those kind of judgments. We need to dissolve all that part so we can just get those energy dimensions. It's not about just killing a monster, but what it really means is it is, getting victory over inner battles and also external battles. So that is the killing of the Mahishasura. So it speaks about not just wearing something or doing something. It's also about how we have what we have done, why we are doing what we are doing, right? How we are doing to energize ourselves. So if we don't have ego, if we don't have those kind of emotions that kind of deplete our energies will raise upwards so we can reach the Agna Chakra, right? So that is where the symbolism and everything is kind of, it gives that to have that inner strength and outer strength. And moving to the next Devi is Kalaratri. Kalaratri is again another very ferocious form of, the most ferocious form of Devi, right? Because if you see as a Kalaratri, is Kala is time, Ratri is night, right? Is the destroyer of the Kala. The Kalaratri is the destroyer of the Kala. She comes on a donkey, right? She carries a sword and the iron veil. She carries this one, and then there are different symbolisms. And she is the one who removes the darkness, ignorance from our life, right? She protects devotees from the harm and negativity. Again, this is all Devi also like helps us for the spiritual awakening through the destruction of our ego and various other negative emotions. So if you see Devi Saptasati, like Durga Saptasati explains, right, how the Devi, like Kalaratri, there are so many demons she kind of, kills over. For example, if you see Madhu Kaitaba, Madhu is sweet, Kaitaba is bitter, right? So how it is related to us. So if you see, like most of the time, many we are just in that survival thing. It's always like what is a form of enjoyment? Eating food, going to the restaurant, different kind of taste, right? If you go to a kind of dinner or some kind of occasion where there is a lot of food served, so we don't even look at calories. It's just like taste, right? It's important to get that control over what you're eating, what you're consuming. It's not just about eating food, just kind of enjoyment, just going around. So it is way beyond to taking care of. You should have that courage, you should have that determination to have that inner control. And if you see another Dhumra Lochana, Devi kills Dhumra Lochana. Dhumra is smoke, Lochana is eyes. Right? That means like Dhumra Lochana is nothing but illusion, our illusion, distractions. For everything we get distracted, we have less focus, all that mental clog, brain clog. So we don't have the clarity of thinking. We have all these judgments, all these layers of dust accumulated until we clear out all that dhumra, all that dust. So we can't really reach the Devi, we can't really reach the Shiva, we can't transcend upwards. So, and even if you see Madhukait about Chanda Munda, so Chanda Munda is nothing but your passions. Like people have continuous passions. They want to do this, that, continuous, never-ending passions. If you see, it's okay to have some passions, but it's not that's not the only life. You need to have you need to recognize the purpose, right? So that is having that control over your passions. Make sure that you have the only right things in your place. And Shumba Nishumba, Devi also kills Kalaratri kills Shumba Nishumba. Shumba is Nishumba means good and bad, right? One must go beyond marking that good and bad. Somebody praises you, you should not be kind of, overfilled with joy. And somebody doesn't praise or somebody says something, you can't just like go down, right? You should have control on your emotions. Like every dimension, everything, every story gives us a moral value, how it related to us, what we are supposed to do internally, how we are going to get the victory over those kind of battles, how we are transcending upwards, energizing ourselves, recognizing the energy potential. So it's actually beautiful to understand more. The more we read the scriptures, the more each symbolism has a specific way that is helpful for the humanity to move upwards. So this way, moving to the next Devi, I don't know how we are doing, 9:39. Okay. So the next Devi is the eighth Devi is Mangal Gauri, right? So Devi Mangal Gauri, as we have come from Shailaputri, doing us all the transcending upwards from Muladhara Chakra to Swadhisthana, Manipura, and then Anahata, Vishuddha, and we also reached the Agna. So this is where Devi Mangal Gauri comes on a bull, and then she has a Trishula and Tamaru on the hand. She is the embodiment of the peace. She's the embodiment of compassion and beauty. She is a peaceful form of Devi because we already killed all our inner demons and outer demons, and we have already have that awakening happen, spiritual awakening, reaching up to the Agna Chakra, and then we are supposed to reach the Sahasrara. So Gauri, Mangal Gauri helps us to go beyond, to completely awaken that Kundalini and raise above Sahasrara so we can be aligned with the Shiva consciousness, the pure consciousness, above, with the universal consciousness. So the Devi, she is holding a Japamala again, and then she has it symbolizes purity and peace and compassion and beauty. So she blesses with the mental calmness, spiritual, upliftment and joy. So she is the giver of happiness, ecstasy. So she encourages forgiveness and serenity in the relationships. So it's complete spiritual transformation of inner and outer cleansing. She also helps to remove our karmas so we can go upwards, further upwards. And after Mangal Gauri, the final ninth Devi is the Siddhidatri. So if you see Siddhidatri, right, like we have the Mangal Gauri Devi has already taken you from erasing from almost Muladhara Chakra to we also went above beyond the Sahasrara. So we are now one with Shiva. So when we are completely pure, when we are able to clear all those karmas and all those, remove all those inner demons, remove all those panchakleshas, and then all those negative emotions, we are able to get rid of even the Rakta Bija, like, right? Rakta Bija is that desires. Each monster, you see, even the names are clearly given, like what we are supposed to do, which dimensions relate to. Rakta Bija is like, the story of Rakta Bija, right? That Devi, each drop of the Rakshasa falls on the ground, another new Rakta Bija used to come up, pop up. So the Devi Kalaratri, she just stretches her tongue and doesn't make sure that not even a single drop of blood falls on the ground. So means like these are our desires. As soon as we fulfill one desire, another desire pops out, right? We have continuous desires, never-ending desires. So once we kill all these inner demons, and then we are able to awaken the Kundalini, we are raising upwards, reaching Sahasrara and above. When we are with the universal consciousness, Shiva, that is when Devi bestows with many siddhis, right? Even Hanuman Chalisa, if you have read, it talks about Ashtasiddhi Navanidike Data. Like there are so many siddhis like this, Anima Siddhi, Garima Siddhi, Lagma Siddhi, Aprakyama Siddhi, so Ishtakamya Siddhi. There are different siddhis. So it's not about Anima Siddhi means like, Garima Siddhi means like one can become very small and or one can become very big. It's not physical. We are not talking about just the physical. It's not about the subtle. It's about not the outer body, right? What we'll do, just becoming small or big. even if we get Siddhi, what we are going to do? Like we have so many in the past, like people can transform their form and shape, and then they can even pass to certain things, levitate, and there are so many examples. But then for today's, for the current state, it is like, even when you recognize in your meditation, as you do dhyana, as you go deep within, you'll just become a smallest speck, right? Even just like a bindu, and that is Anuman. Then you recognize like everything kind of, you dissolve everything. You're not associated with anything else, the physical reality. And Garima sir, you're maximizing your shape. That means you're enhancing your energy dimensions. You're mixing with the universal consciousness. So with everything there is, that's how you're expanding. As you meditate, you're expanding your energies. You're merging with the universal energies, becoming one with everything there is. That one pointed focus, and you're becoming one with everything, right? So that is where like each city has meant something. Like Istakam is the man means like it's not just building your own big house or getting 10 cars or whatever, right? It's not about that. Like Kam is the it's like you're attaining your final goal, like moksha or whatever that you're transcending beyond upwards, ultimate goal, not just kind of one purpose, temporary one lifetime thing, right? So then once we transcend beyond, the Mangal Gauri Siddhidatri is the one who bestows with many siddhis. You will know the difference. Like when you meditate slowly, you can see how many, what are the attributes you're receiving, what are the things you are able to have that inner peace, how you are able to sleep better, how you are able to feel more compassion towards everybody, how you are able to feel kind of, want to give that selfless service. So the things will change. I know we are passing through. Yeah. So the Siddhidatri symbolizes the spiritual fulfillment, wisdom, and success. Blesses devotees with perfection in all endeavors, represent the ultimate unity of divine knowledge and power. So this is the final, the ninth Devi, and then after this, the Vijayadashmi, we celebrate the victory over everything. So we have won all those, we have killed all those inner demons, and then also about the external, we are able to handle in a better way. So this is kind of to explain just a little bit briefly on each, because if we talk about each Puranic story, it's a very lengthy. There are so many stories associated with and so many energy dimensions, and each symbolism we can explain different Shakti, so it's associated with different piece of empowerment. So also for relationship wise, how Devi is kind of empowering everything. Thank you. Have a wonderful night and happy Vijayadashmi once again.
Yeah, thanks everyone.